I'm gonna record. So first off is this like where we at slide. It gives you a really good picture on what sort of things we've done and where we're going. So here's where I'm gonna present, or like whoever's leading this meeting will present these ones. And this is for people to look at after the meeting, slash if you missed the meeting, this gives them really good description on where we're at. This slide is like what we're gonna do. So always have some sort of thing that we do inside the meeting. And then here we're splitting work into different teams just so that we know what each other team needs help on slash is doing. This stuff I added in. We can do some drafting today. And then right here, this is where you start adding for you individually what you're gonna look at so that everybody else knows what you're doing, keeps a level of accountability. And on the last slide, feel free to add this before the meeting, but it's literally the random bucket. So you can add anything you want. And then we'll have like, how was the meeting as a base question in. Does that make sense? So it's just all an overview of what these slides have. So it's a summary slide, a couple slides maybe on what we're going to work on during the meeting, a slide breaking down each of the departments and what we're working on, and then something that shows what's getting done next time specifically for each individual. And then we always want a random bucket just in case anything miscellaneous pops up. So getting into today's stuff, last meeting, we kind of looked at where we or like what sort of stuff we've done already. So if you missed that, check that one out. But we're looking just to get back onto track, which means all three of our departments for now are going to work on their separate things. And then collectively during meetings, we can kind of keep each other accountable, help each other out with the big stuff. Something that Aditya brought up was looking at outside accelerator programs. So each of our colleges have these sort of programs. And then for the two of you not in college yet, there's definitely going to be accelerator programs here in Pittsburgh that you can look into. And these can either be startup accelerators. So these are like for-profit accelerators made so that you make a product and you sell that product. And then there's also something called social impact accelerators that are more geared towards nonprofits. So take a look at both of those and see which ones we have. Something else we can do now is conduct more interviews. So just contacting professionals from around, it always helps. And obviously through this whole process, we're going to aim to have fun. I thought about it. It's kind of nice to have a commitment each week. And then as a whole team, we're going to be moving. And I have so much motivation coming up this semester. So let's see, if we can add up these small little impacts and then make a big difference by summer. Now, this is the thing that I sent in Slack. We wanted to change the mission last meeting, not the mission, but like the overall message that our mission meant. And we figured that it might help us bring out our message in the mission by having these subtopics. And the reason why these are all kind of in normal text is because this is just like a draft. So Jonathan said something in Slack about this one, but he didn't expand on it. So right now, if you want some time to expand on what you meant by like gearing this towards or making this more specific, feel free to share that idea. And then for anybody else, like, let's try and edit these three things to describe our impact, and then this like blurb to redefine like what we do.
I think top is a good general overstatement. I like that, like directed learning to community impact, inspire change. And then just to set the quick student-run nonprofit organization striving to encourage the conversation between students and topics in human health. I think that's just like a general, like good, like introduction, like overview. What I was suggesting is like instead of having that little part where it says teaching students, curating health curriculums, inspiring action based on knowledge, instead of having that, maybe we could just go with the blob at the bottom, but like put in like those parts specifically. So I'd say like care for them is all about creating an atmosphere for students to explore their health through a lens, motivated just to add based on learning how and why things work, but it's growth thing philosophy. I was thinking of like adding like a portion there of like teaching students through curriculums such as like curriculums or like regarding biology, anatomy, research, healthcare. And I feel like you can put all those three ideas you can put in like one sentence. Yeah.
Okay.
Healthcare.
Gotcha. So you said you liked this part.
Yeah.
Okay. How would
I
you
think you should keep
feel?
that, to be honest.
How would you feel if we replaced directed learning, community impact, and inspired change with these three?
Teaching students.
So the idea that we kind of talked about, and Jaden, feel free to add to this as well. But the idea that we talked about last time was it was very difficult to prove that we've done this sort of stuff. Like directed learning is kind of easier, but it's kind of more artsy and not to the point yet. And inspired change is really difficult to prove. So we figured we change these three, like to have banners underneath our mission. And so I drafted up these three, which should be easier to prove. But what are our thoughts on this?
I also think I didn't really like the phrasing critical thinking philosophy. I think that was a little bit too broad and a little bit more difficult to necessarily measure. I think it's more it's a little bit more ambiguous. So I think the overstatement that you had there was like teaching students, creating health curriculums, inspiring action based on knowledge. That's a lot more specified. So I think if you want to try to maybe tweak that into that section, that could maybe finish it off pretty well.
Okay. Any initial thoughts on how to tweak that?
I mean, let me see. Let me just see this real quick.
Like what type of philosophy would that, or what type of ideology slash just thinking is this? The desire to like act based on knowledge.
I think it's really, you learn something, we learn stuff all the time in high school, middle school, but we don't really get the opportunity to apply it in a real world setting. So I think, what is different about us is that we try to help students find pathways to use the knowledge that they gain through our courses to make a real world impact around them. Isn't that kind of what we're trying? I just wanted to clarify a little bit. Isn't that what we're trying to get at a little bit with that? What do you mean by like critical thinking philosophy?
Yeah, I like that. I was kind of thinking on the topic of, okay, so we can make direct impacts on students, and then we want those students to then make impacts on their community.
Right.
So I kind of phrased it with your wording right here. Does this, how does this look?
I think you do have like two ends in there. So we motivate students to act based on learning and why things work. I think if you just based on learning how things work and seek to make real world impacts, I think that's a better direction. Yeah.
Ooh, hold on. So we motivate students to act based on learning how things work and to seek. This is just so that ours like this, we need a better word for this, but because before, if we don't have this too, then it might be that we are seeking real world impact, but we want the students to seek.
Pursue.
To pursue. I like that. Thoughts?
You like sorry, show like connections, maybe like show how what they learn connects to the real world. So like maybe word sorry, word connections into that somehow, maybe.
Okay, let me.
I mean, if it makes sense to you, I'm just, saying.
Yeah.
So do we want to kind of emphasize somewhere that the fact that our classes are free, and I think that in a way, a goal for, because we're free, we're opening up a lot more people to take advantage of these offerings and essentially pursue real world impacts. I don't know. Do we want to add that phrase somewhere in there, just to tie it in?
Thoughts on that from other people? I have a strong opinion about it, so I'm gonna save this at the end.
I was just thinking in general. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on. Aditi was mentioning, I guess, like saying specifically that like our curriculums are free. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we need to say that in like our main statement, but like what my thought process was with going about this is like, Jeremy, I don't even think you need to mention some sort of philosophy. I think if you're just straight to the point and just like specific about it, then like it's all good. Like I like that we motivate students to act based on learning how things work and to pursue real world impacts. Like I think that sounds better than using words like critical thinking philosophy that some people might not know what it means.
Right, got it.
I feel like, Jeremy, you have a pretty, I know what your strong opinion is, but I just wanted to just ask it again to see if like, maybe we changed our minds a little bit. So that's why. I also, I'm very neutral on that stance. I don't have a single opinion. I just wanted to just phrase it as a question, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely want that sentiment to pop through when someone visits the website, for sure. For this part, I think free has a lot of connotation on like lower quality stuff, or like it ties in with that. So that was why that would be my opinion on it with like our mission statement is try not to have like a connotation of this is a little bit lower quality than, if I paid for tutoring or something like that.
Yeah.
That was my take. But for sure with the website, then it sounds like there's no other strong opinion for pro put in free. So I'm gonna leave it at that for now. And then, okay, are we cool with this? I just wanna.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
One
Yeah.
thumbs up.
I think I
okay.
did want to add something to the paragraph. I think it's another term that I feel like is a little bit ambiguous, not very specific. So what do we mean by like a science-driven lens, like per se? So like Care for Them is about creating an atmosphere for students to explore their own health through a science-driven lens. Like, what does that specifically mean? Like if you were sort of like an onlooker, right? Who's just, we're trying to like hook them in with this phrase. I think it might be a little bit not specific in a way. I think it's a little bit too broad.
If I put like applicational lens / if I put this like applicational, because what we kind of started out teaching was like human health and in ways that we can kind of apply it to our lives. Is there a better way to phrase this so that people understand, oh yeah, I can apply this to my life? Because applicational learning is something that I don't think a lot of people know what that means.
Was it trying to convey to like clear misinformation and propaganda, or was it something else?
It could. I had the intention of just kind of showing like, hey, we should be motivated and driven by the whys and how behind the info that we learn so that we can like apply it to stuff, and obviously not trust like a lot of the social media stuff of just like saying a fact and then that's just it with no.
I think if we just use the word applied learning, which is like a pretty common phrase that's used in like the educational sector, I
Mhm.
think that is a lot more clear to the onlooker as to like what we're trying to focus in on.
Care for them is all about creating an atmosphere for students to explore.
I think just through applied learning. I think you want to try to maybe keep that as concise as you want. So that's why.
Okay, so how do you want to word this?
I think care for them is about creating an atmosphere for students to explore their own health through applied learning. I think, try to keep it
But
as
We
simple.
could
to the
also
point as
use
that.
the word practical, right? Practical.
Ooh,
Practical learning.
ooh,
Like
That's-
hands-on or
I
something.
think that is good. I think one thing I would say, a little caveat I would say to that is that applied learning is definitely a lot more of a commonly used word to describe.
Sounds like a
that.
type of math. Like I know I'm doing applied math. I don't know.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing as the DT. Like, I think I've heard of applied learning, but I'm gonna comment here practical just in case. Like, I just want to move on for now.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll put this here and then we can look at it later. So this is a meat of our meeting. For each of Jaden, I'm gonna have you pick like one of these departments to want to go into. But first, so funding is gonna be all about like this semester. We're gonna focus like right before summer is the ending of the semester, right? So this sort of semester, we kind of divvied up into 3 different departments. One of them is going to be funding, one of them's outreach, one of them social media. They're pretty self-explanatory, but funding is all about applying and searching for funding opportunities to get some financial backing into what we're doing. Outreach is reaching out to all these schools, reaching out to potentially like individual students. And this can either be from an internal view of collecting more like care for them members, or from like buyers slash users of our curriculum. Social media is just collecting sort of an audience base for us. Those are our 3 departments. And then this slide and then the following 3 slides are all about, what sort of resources can we as a group right now work on so that our jobs in these departments are going to be easier. So for funding, we all put down like, if we can draft right now a paragraph about who we are, and then maybe a little story of the issues that we're trying to address and our progress on solving that issue through our mission is, that would be helpful for funding. And then this stuff for outreach, and for social media, this stuff, like if we can do these 3 things now during the meeting, it'll help out these teams. So just listening to this, which one of these departments, I'll have you think about like which one you want to go into. And then at the end of the meeting, like we can revisit that unless you have a decision now.
No, I think I'll think about it for some time and then I'll let you know.
Okay, so for funding, I was thinking if we can draft up a paragraph, and feel free anybody to either like request remote control and start typing / like type in chat if you have any like sentences to add. But I thought like a paragraph about who we are could be helpful. Do we want to draft that now? Ooh,
Yeah,
You know what?
I'm down to draft that right now.
okay, I'm gonna send that. That's our slides. Okay, let's have like okay, so I'm thinking we could, some people can go on to outreach, and then some people can stay on funding, and some people can go to social media. So we'll take like 7 minutes and draft whatever you can about any of these. Do we want to do it that way?
Yeah.
Or just go like one at a time on each of these? Which one? One at a time as a big group, Nah, screw it. Let's do breakout rooms.
Okay.
All right. It's been a
Also,
while since
Jeremy,
you've used those.
I have to leave at like 10:30.
Okay, that's perfectly cool. We're gonna finish this in 7 minutes.
Okay, bet. All right, sounds good.
Jeremy, I actually also had to go shortly after that too, because I got some more work to finish, college
Yeah.
work.
I have a
Not
bunch
a
of work to
problem.
do. Literally,
Not a problem.
very unfortunate.
All right, 7 minutes. Here we go.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Like one tackle funding, two tackle the other one.
What's up, Jay Goo?
Not much. All right.
So I think Jaden's choosing to do funding with you, by the way.
Oh, choose
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Okay, are we doing funding in this group, in this breakout room, like typing up this stuff?
Yeah, we can. I'm fine with any three of them. Whatever you guys want to do. I guess we can start with funding.
All right, that works.
Sure, sounds good.
Does
All right, so
someone want to?
are we drafting that paragraph about who we are?
Yeah, okay. I was thinking because there are two paragraphs here. I was thinking maybe you two can do the paragraph about who we are, and then I will tinker with a little story of what issue we're gonna try and address.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
To be honest, I think starting it off with just like our like mission statement is like the best idea. Oh, okay. If you're doing that down here, then yeah. Oh, my bad. Here. Okay. Uncertain. So identity. Okay, I think if we just start here and then we go into the specifics, I think that's a good intro. It's like care for them. Oh, okay. And then I can like, wait, hold up. If I check these comments here,
Mhm.
will they disappear?
No, they won't. They won't.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, they did, but that's okay. I'll bring them back later. You don't
Okay.
have to worry about it.
Oh wow. I thought I've done that before. If not.
Let me give you guys the website link too. Feel free to pull from this. So I'm taking like a marketing class, right?
Yeah.
And it turns out like there's easy ways of getting, so it's called like SEO, right? And SEO is all about getting like Google search results to pop your stuff more often and like on top. And so like for LinkedIn profiles, right? The more you use your LinkedIn, the more when you search up your name, your LinkedIn profile pops up on top because Google's like, oh, a lot of people are searching your name and you know, you're editing your LinkedIn, blah, 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 whatever you're doing on LinkedIn. There's a lot of activity there too. And so LinkedIn and Google will kind of, or Google will see that you're using, that there's a lot of usage around your name on LinkedIn and you will show up on top.
Really?
So,
Oh,
yeah. And so, well, this concept works with everything. So this Wix site, by the way, I'm going to try and put our slides onto Wix site somehow. Like I'll try and edit Wix site at some point as well. So that the more we try and like use our Wix site and search up just like straight up care for them, the more our Wix site and all of our like YouTube channel and stuff like that will pop up more often as well. So Yeah, that's also a concept we can kind of take advantage of. All right. We have 2 minutes left, by the way.
This is what I have so far. Um,
Did you buy the domain for the website?
No, it's a free Wix site.
Oh, okay, but can't you like buy the domain within Wix?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. So okay, yeah.
We'll look into that when we get some funding.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
what is it? What is the best way to see this? To those lacking the proper resources within STEM opportunities.
Disadvantaged kids, children, youth.
Yeah, I don't. Let's say within the city of Pittsburgh.
Leave that open for now.
Okay, then I guess we can just copy it and then say thoughts. Okay,
I'm gonna give a 1 minute warning.
and I guess we could also say.
Yo.
Right. Sorry, Josh and I were just wrapping up some stuff.
No, that's perfect. We're on a time crunch here. We're gonna beat the time now. Okay, so this is what we have. I am actually not gonna read this. I was, but it looks too long. And then for the little story, didn't have time to write the story, so just wrote like the issue and solution at hand. I'm just gonna showcase like what we have so far, and then you guys wanna don't present it, but just showcase like what you sort of have, and then we'll review it later.
Yeah, so basically all we said was we want to promote students of all different backgrounds and give them equal access to an education / opportunity to learn about personal health and ways to apply it. And then yeah, basically make an impact on the community. And we're just gonna list out more examples of schools that we could contact.
Sweet. Okay, for social media, I'll type that out later. What's getting done next time? I'm gonna start making a list of my funding opportunities and look at accelerated programs. If you guys want, type in like what you're gonna do next time. And then for you guys, can you please finish this slide as well?
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
random muck it. How was the meeting? We don't have to do that. All right, cool. So here's the to-do list. I'm gonna finish up this slide and then type up a story, potentially like by Wednesday or something like that. Just finish this slide. I'll finish this slide and then we'll review it. Try and review this sort of stuff before next meeting. I'll send a Slack reminder as well. And then also random bucket. After we get situated and after you guys figure out your schedules, we're gonna aim to like set up a reoccurring meeting. And then when we have that, it won't just be me leading these meetings and we'll go from there. So
All
just
right.
pretty much finish your slides and then check Slack. Cool,
Sounds
cool,
like a
cool.
plan.
All right, sounds
All
good.
right, see you. Thank you.
Jeremy,
thank you.
I need you to be, I need you to do a favor.
Yeah.
Remind me to reach out to the people from ThinkBox and at Case sometime this week because I'm probably gonna forget. But I want to make sure I do it though.
Think box at Case. Got it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sounds good, fam. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, Jonathan.
Alright,
Best
see ya.
of luck.
All right.